Hey guys, it's Star the Flippin' Hippo. Thank you for joining us on our YouTube channel at Flippin' Hippos, and welcome to Back to Basics episode 8. Today we're going to talk about how to take the best photos that you can for your eBay and Poshmark listings. I would say the number one important thing when you're taking photographs is your lighting. If you have bad lighting, you're going to have bad photographs. That's just the bottom line. You've got to have really good lighting in order to have great professional looking photographs. The lights you see behind me are down in my description box. You can purchase them on Amazon for like $60. I personally feel like they're the best ones on the market. They're really bright. We put one on each side. It lights up the whole area. We've been using this, we've been using these lights for about a year and a half, and they still have their original light bulbs in them. We do have a backup set of light bulbs in case they burn out, but they haven't yet. And that's another reason why I really like them. I feel like they last for a very long time, but they're really inexpensive as far as professional lighting goes, and they are adjustable. They break down and go inside of a case that you can carry around. They're just really, really good lights. So if you're at a point in your business where you can afford to invest in professional lighting, those are definitely the ones I recommend. But if you're just getting started, which you probably are if you're watching the Back to Basics series, you probably don't have a lot of capital coming in to invest in things like lights and mannequins and things like that, because you're still building your business and you're probably putting everything you make back into more inventory. So until you can afford that investment into professional lighting, you just got to make do with what you've got and do the best that you can. When we first started, we used our actual just lamps from around the house. You can do that too. The main thing you need to remember when you're lighting the area for the photographs, you want light coming in from both sides so that you don't have any shadows and you don't have one side lighter or darker than the other. So if you can set up lamps like floor lamps or whatever you've got coming in from both directions the same way you would set up the professional ones, that's probably your best bet. If you're just making do with lamps, just get them coming in on both sides, make sure you don't have any shadows, and make sure it's like an even lighting surface. And then your other option, you can always use natural lighting. You can always set up your photography station in front of windows and catch the sun at the best time of the day for wherever your windows are positioned according to the sun, and then just have that natural light coming in. And then I do recommend, though, as soon as you can afford it, as soon as you have the capital, to get professional lights. The next important thing, I think, is how you're going to present your clothing. So you have to decide if you want a mannequin, if you want to do flat lays, if you want to do the hanger. There's people that use that big hanger. Personally, I prefer the mannequin for everything except pants and jeans. And I actually prefer mannequins for dresses, but I'm back to putting dresses on a hanger, only because we had the full mannequin, the like arms, legs, she was on a stand, everything. And I personally could not maneuver her with my bad back. It was just too much. It would hurt and it was exhausting. So actually her name was Lola. We just sold her recently. I'm probably going to be getting a dress form to replace her, which is like what you see behind me there, except on a stick. So it's just like the torso on a stick, and you're not dealing with all of the extra body parts. It's not heavy, it's not cumbersome or hard to maneuver if you have a bad back. But I do actually prefer mannequins for everything. I think they look better. I think it presents the clothing in a way that people can imagine it on their own body. They can see how it's going to fit a figure. But, you know, not everyone agrees with that, and some people really like the flat lays, and that's fine too, as long as you're doing them, you know, so that they look nice and professional. As far as like jeans and stuff like that, absolutely a flat lay. You can do all kinds of things. I'm sure you guys have seen photos where people flip the legs up cute or make it look like they're walking, and you can get the full front and the full back, and then your close-ups as you need them. So you just need to decide, you know, do you want a mannequin? If you do want a mannequin, do you want a dress form, a full mannequin, or just the standing one like we have, the torsos back there? And or if you're going to use hangers, You can use a mixture of both. You can do some one way, some another way. We do. And again, when you're in the beginning stages and you don't have a lot of money, you can just do flat lays and hangers and then, you know, work your way into affording a mannequin if that's what you choose. Next, we're going to talk about your background. So let's talk about the big elephant in the room. eBay has always suggested the white background. Well, not always, but like 2 years ago, they came out and said the white background was preferable. And then at eBay Open, they talked about it's because of the Google algorithm will pick up items with white backgrounds and push them higher up in searches. But here's the problem with that. The Google algorithm takes 30 days to update. So if you list an item that's got a white background, by the time it would have been picked up by the Google algorithm 30 days later, whether you're doing good till canceled or 30 days, the item will still end and relist. So if it's good till canceled, it ends and then relists itself, or it's going to your unsolds and you're relisting it. So in all actuality, your item never really has a chance to be featured on Google or pushed up in their search algorithm because you're not going to be up for longer than 30 days. So by the time it would grab you, the item's gone. So I don't necessarily think the white background is important as far as Google, and that's why. But I like it because I think it looks 100% professional. If you look at all the big box stores online, all of their items are featured on a white background. I think it looks, I guess the word is slick. It looks slick, it looks professional, and I like it. But you don't have to use the white background. It's just what's recommended and preferred. You can use a wooden background. You guys see those people with like the bamboo or the gray or the brown wood. You can use black background if you have like a lot of white clothing items that you're trying to show off. So you can kind of be creative with that. You don't have to use the white. I use it because I like it, because I think it looks more professional. But I've seen a lot of really good photographs on listings on other types of background. You can use paper, canvas, or cloth. We use paper, and the reason we use paper is because it's inexpensive and you don't have to fuss with it so much. When you get those canvas or those cloth backgrounds, they can get dirty. You gotta wash them, you gotta clean them off, then they get wrinkled, and then you have to make sure that the wrinkles are all out and everything's all smoothed out. To me, it's just so much hassle. We get one roll of that bulletin board paper at like Office Depot for, I think it's like $12 or maybe $14 for one roll. And you can do 2 backgrounds with it. So you bring it home, you put it on your stand, and you roll it down, and you use it and use it and use it and use it, and eventually, yes, it will start to look a little dingy, maybe a little yellowed with time. It'll have wrinkles in it, and once I dropped the mannequin on ours and tore it. But then you just pull it down until it's down again, and you can use that forever. So each roll will give you basically 2 backgrounds, and this is our second roll, and we started using this method. I want to say Keith first set this up in September of 2017, and we're on our second roll of paper. So that is how long they last. Each roll will give you basically 2 backgrounds, and then you just switch it out when you notice that it needs switched out. You want a more crisp, more white background. It will wrinkle and crinkle over time, and if you're a klutz like me and drop mannequins on it, it'll tear. But yeah, they're really inexpensive and they last forever. You don't have to worry about cleaning it and the wrinkles and all of that like you do with the canvas and the cloth ones. But if you're going to lean more towards the wood or the artsy, nicer backgrounds, then you probably are looking at not getting paper. There's so many different varieties online that you can find, but we do use the paper, and that is why, and that's why we use the white. Let's talk about props real quick. I see a lot of really nice photographs on Poshmark with props, and they are beautiful. They are stunning. They are artistic. They look professional. They look just real nice. They'll have like a little cactus or some flowers, or they'll put high heel shoes in with their jeans and stage like a little outfit. And they're really great photographs, and I absolutely think that they look fantastic, but I would not recommend that on eBay. And here's why, and this is just my opinion. I think on Poshmark, the buyers are 100% accustomed to and used to seeing people using props in their photos, because it's really common on Poshmark to see people with the plants and like the string of pearls or the high heels. They just have all kinds of extra stuff they put in their photos, and it looks great. And Poshmark buyers are used to that, so they know if the listing is for a pair of jeans, they're not getting the string of pearls and the high heels with it. On the other hand, I really feel like eBay buyers are more inclined to expect to get everything that they see in the photo. Unfortunately, I feel like more than 50% of eBay buyers do not read the description. They tend to just look at like maybe the first 3 photos and read the title and buy it. And if they're not going through all the photos and reading the whole description and they just see a photograph with extra things in it, you might be looking at an item and not as described because they didn't get everything in the photo. It sounds silly because really, if the listing is for a pair of jeans, why would they complain that they didn't get the cactus in the photo? But it does happen more than you guys probably think it would, and that is just the mindset on eBay. The mindset of eBay buyers is completely different than the mindset of Poshmark buyers. And unfortunately, eBay buyers are kind of trained to open item not as described and try to sometimes scam or get more for their money or get money back or partial refunds and all of that. I'm not saying it's every buyer. You guys hear me say all the time that the majority of buyers are good people. The majority of buyers are good, honest people, but I do think that putting props in your photographs on eBay is just going to cause you problems. So I would 100% suggest on eBay just having the item for sale in a background. And then if you want to get really artistic with your photos and put in props and stuff like that, save that for Poshmark. And that's it, you guys. You need good lighting, you need a good mannequin or flat lay system or hanger, and you need a background. And then I get asked this all the time. I actually get asked this at least once a day, if not more, if I use any kind of apps for our photos, and I don't. And I feel like if you have really good lighting and a really good background and a modern day smartphone, your photos are going to be good enough. I don't think you need an app. I don't think you need to spend extra time editing your photos. Now, if you are just getting started and you don't have really great lighting and your photos are coming out kind of dark, you may need an app to brighten the photograph or get rid of shadows. So that's just the unfortunate thing of just getting started. And there's nothing wrong with that. We started from nothing too, you guys. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it. But eventually, I feel like when you have the professional lighting and the really good background, your photos are going to be good enough that you don't need to get an app and spend all that extra time editing that you could be spending listing or taking more photographs. But if you did need an app to brighten your photos or whatever, if you don't have that great of lighting yet, eBay has, you can crop and brighten and darken right there. If you're listing on the desktop, you can edit your photo a little bit right there. So you still may not need an app. My opinion of apps is just like it's an extra step and it's kind of like wasting time. But some people do like to use them, and that's fine, or need to use them. Poshmark doesn't really have that great of an editor. eBay's is a little bit better. So I have heard people talk about Open Camera, and that's on Android. I don't know if it's on Apple. We tried it out and it felt like it was just like using our actual camera on our phone, but maybe a little bit brighter. There is a couple of apps out there. You guys just go on your stores on your phone and look. There's like hundreds of them. And you can use them to lighten your photos if you need. Then there is InstaFilter and Square Fit. Those are apps that will make your photos square for Posh, because your photos have to be square on Posh. what I do actually is I just cross post from eBay to Posh on my desktop, and I use my snip tool. I have a video on how to do that. I'll link it down below for you guys. So that way I don't have to go on my phone and use an extra app to make my photos square. I just kind of use my snip tool and grab them and go from there. And then I did want to also mention there are collage makers. There's one actually called Collage Maker, but there are Collage Maker apps out there that you can use if you want to do your front photo with the front and the back. You guys know what I mean? Like, I'm sure you've seen people who use the collages as their main photo for their listing to show the front and the back of a shirt or the front and back of jeans. And that does look nice. I 100% agree that that looks fantastic. And it probably does draw a buyer in, catches their eye if you use that. But again, to me, that's just an extra step and time that I could be spending listing more. But they do look nice. So you can use the collage apps if you want to do the really nice front photos, especially on Poshmark. Because like I said before, I feel like people on Poshmark go the extra mile with their photographs. They're a little bit more artistic and like actual photography than just your plain run-of-the-mill listings you see on eBay. So you guys, if you have any more questions or whatever, let me know down in the comments. I will be more than happy to help you out. Like I said, our lighting kit, the roll of paper, and that photography stand that our paper is on, all three of those items are down below in our description. They are Amazon links. And I do believe I have links to mannequins down there too. So if you want to emulate or copy our setup, or even just one part of our setup, or get the same lights as us or whatever, everything we use is down in the description box for you to click on, go to Amazon and purchase. And I will link the video I made on how to cross post from eBay to Poshmark using your snip tool. And again, the apps I mentioned, I don't use them. These are just ones I've heard of. Our Open Camera for the Android, the Collage Maker, Instra Filter, and Square Fit to make the square photos for Instagram. Again, if I left something out or you have any more questions, leave it down below in the comments. Do me a favor, smash the like button before you leave. Thumbs up always helps the channel. If you haven't already and you'd like to, please subscribe to our channel and help us feed a hungry hippo. Don't forget to hit the bell so you're notified when I put up new content. And you can find us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. We're at Flippin Hippos across all social media. You guys have a good night, and I'll see you next time.